continue like that. 2011, I joined boarding school out of peer pressure because my sister wanted to go to boarding school and we had sibling rivalry. But I was like, yeah, I'm the adult, so I must go also. So I joined boarding school, and yeah, it provided me enough time to read, study, just to be around like-minded individuals. For the first time, now competition was really stiff. A school where you go and everyone's result oriented, 350 plus, and you're being told for you to get 350 plus, you have to get 70. Strategy. And that's another thing I'll talk about. You need to be strategic. If you're saying you want 400 marks, it doesn't happen by magic. You have to divide and make it realistic, bit-sized. Yeah, you have to have a smart goal. When I say smart, it means it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be attainable, it must be realistic and time-bound. So that's about strategy. Yeah, we used to receive these guests who could talk about what to do. So it's good actually to invest even on resource persons, these experts, to talk about academics or whichever area where you feel there is need for input. It could be even maybe your school is suffering from drug abuse. So some it's trancy, some chronic diseases, some even HIV and AIDS, among other challenges. So in class 8, I've started now improving. For the first time in my term 1 exam in class 8, I got 400 marks. I've never been proud of myself. I couldn't believe it's the person who had joined class 7, 318 marks. Even just the value addition was impeccable. Yes, I admit I had to work, and success doesn't come from just doing things occasionally. It was consistent. I was reading at home. Kwanza mama alikuwa nafunga kutoka main TV. It used to be close, my friend. Even when I see my brothers, they have the privilege of phones, TV. I'm like, where? Hata mnajua same tulipata after form 4. Like, life was hard. And at school, you're given a lot of assignments. At night, you want to discuss. You yourself, you have this booster box you've been bought for, like, okay, targeters, Jesma. You have flyers, so like you have a lot. We have spotlight, and I can see there the success was usually because of the teachers. They were committed, and whatever resources they could request, the parents were also willing to provide. That was another thing that really helped us. So and my mantra by then was do my best and leave the rest to God. And God was so faithful. I got good grades and I joined the Moi Girl High School Eldoret. So it was a nice experience at Moi. Then I joined Kenyatta University. I went for my TP. There was not much culture shock. Maybe the fact that by then my specs had broken, so I didn't even realize that there was even drug abuse. I could be told by my colleagues, did you realize so and so was drunk? Actually most calls in Kiambu, that's a challenge. Drug abuse. So even in Nairobi, followed by Mombasa. In short, in these urban centers, the cities especially, that's a very big challenge. And that brings me to what the subject of today: individual differences, catering for individual differences. This was a very important topic. Even if you missed it in your education course, Tafadhali, you need to go and relook into that. Sometimes, you find some students are aptitude slow learners. Like literally, they're not that smart. Like they're not even average. They're below average. I hear they are called time takers. Then we have attitude slow learners, and that's where Kerubo falls in. Like for math, I think I failed math and physics in my form 4 because I was an attitude learner. I had a poor attitude towards my teacher, and likewise to that subject. Even too. Yeah. So you're bound to fail, and that is a problem that needs to be solved. So like this teacher, if you have a poor attitude and you're like, I teach in a low village school, say I teach in a primary school, yeah, you're doing an amazing work. It doesn't matter where. So you need to acknowledge the work that you're doing, and the exact vibe that you emit is what you will receive. You just tell those students, yeah, it's a good school. Sometimes, yeah, you could have scored well, but resources were not there, and you didn't join your dream school, so you have a negative attitude towards the school. But you guide and counsel them and tell them to accept. Sometimes they have maybe a negative attitude towards the subject, so you start stimulating them and telling them how good it can be. You change your methodologies. I mean, literally, you try your best. Sometimes maybe they don't like the teacher, even you. So you can decide to do peer teaching or co-teaching. Yeah, you get another teacher from the same subject department. You get to share. We are not perfect in all subject topics. So where you're best, deliver that, and you give your peer the rest, teach on your behalf, so that you don't discourage those learners. Yeah. So I crafted some tips on what can be done. So number one, be consistent and relevant. Do not neglect those children. Yeah, and just say, acha hakwenda huko. No, just give them love, make them appreciated. Yeah, that's one thing. Then if they have a negative attitude, get to build positivity through a stimulating environment. Maybe you even do things like watching videos instead of just theory. They can do practicals. You give them work. You get to sing, the way we used to do in kindergarten, like to solve array. They get to draw. Give them easy tasks that they're able to accomplish, so that they can build on their confidence also. The other thing, have a friendly approach. I said, know that you're their only hope, especially where you find they have not covered the syllabus or read their test, especially if they're a candidate class. Give them hope, assure them that you're professional and you will handle them nicely. It's like, for example, someone wants to be intimate with you, and maybe you have fear of penetration. This person has to make you, assure you, I'll be gentle, exactly. That approach, be friendly, be gentle. Another thing, guide instead of teaching. I know there's that urge, you want to finish the syllabus now, you're behind, but relax. Let it be learner centered so that they can appreciate the teaching and learning process. Because the more you give them, and you find some don't even write notes, they don't do anything, they just watch you, you're likely to get mad and pissed off, and the more you get pissed off, they also get to retaliate, and the problem escalates. Another thing, motivate and emphasize on value of education. Yeah, just motivate them. I've sometimes literally you have to use your own money. No, I'm not kidding you. Yeah, you buy sweets, you pies, even for teaching materials, you'll have to chip into your pocket. I remember the first time I was teaching on Form 3 work, rivers and oceans. Literally, I had to use my own money to buy bundles so that I could watch the videos on YouTube. That's the sacrifice of success. Ensure they're disciplined. No matter what, how bright one is, how poor one is, I think discipline goes a long way, and a teachable spirit. For me, that is key. Even for me to teach you, must be having a teachable spirit. You must be willing to teach. You must be disciplined. You must be respectful. Those values. You must also be honest. I don't expect like to write notes. I'm doing my best, and you're not meeting the end of the bargain. That is going to be war, literally. Yeah. And another thing, be kind to yourself. Yeah. For mental health's sake, be kind to yourself. Don't carry all those burdens by yourself. You can be in a team. That's what I was saying. You can collaborate. Sometimes be patient. Change doesn't come overnight. Yeah. So be patient. Get help when you can. And know that some problems that were technically acquired at early stages need a lot of rewiring. That's a lot of time. If someone, for example, had a poor foundation, for example, for me, I teach Kiswahili, and you find maybe this person can literally not write, then it means I have a long way. I have to be patient with them, start teaching them everything, even how to hold a pencil. Yeah, and be patient with them, clap for them. Yeah, take it easy. Another thing, know that change is gradual and not instant. I understand we are in a microwave generation, want things to be done pop, pop, pop. But sometimes the truth is, it takes time. It takes time. It's a process. Another thing, in terms of methodologies, try to use realia, vary your teaching system. You can use group discussions. Sometimes get to engage them. They write on the board. They get excited. Some have even never, maybe you're using a whiteboard marker. They've never written the whiteboard. So while you can give them sums, yeah, like for me, maybe we're doing mnyambuliko wa vitenzi, I get to ask, yeah, come, run to the front and write. Who knows the right answer? They write on the board, and it's very stimulating. Let me tell you, a learning class must be disorganized at times. In those groups, not sometimes teaching and learning process is not that neat. Yeah, you'll find it's noisy and messy, but it's worth it. Okay. Another thing, focus on value addition. I know we are usually focused on results. You want A's and B's, But the truth is, we have different capacities, different capabilities, and with this 100% transition, of course, teachers are straining. That's for a fact, and I do understand, I do relate. And so, if someone came maybe with the 100 marks, let's say that was a D, and they come and leave with a D plus, you would have done a good job. I mean, that is worth recommendable. Yeah, so focus even on change. I say change is change. Like improvement is improvement. Progress is progress, no matter whether it's by 0.001. A change is a change. A progress is a progress. Or they maintain. It's either you maintain or you have an upward trend. Another thing, I've talked about guidance and counseling. Another thing is about positive reinforcement. Like for me in that class 5, I can see one of the things that helped me was reading the comments from my class teacher. Like I'm forever grateful for Mr. Simbe and Teacher Dickless, who used to write things like, you're capable, there's room for improvement. Those things used to motivate me. And I think it's every parent and every stakeholder's responsibility to motivate that learner. Even if you brought them a pencil and tried for them, you're smart. The fact that someone has already believed in them, they're likely to have a high self-image, and they will work to that expectation, because they'll be like, if the teacher believes in me, why should I disappoint them? Actually, most children don't like disappointing people they love, so you get to love them, and education comes. You find that some students, they're coming with a lot of baggage. Some could be sick, some broken families, and you have to know how to navigate through. Then some there's fee issues, all those things. And so you need to know how to navigate, at individual level. Another thing, give them simple RATs, that is random assessment tests, or even weekly quizzes to improve on their confidence. What I usually say is that competence improves confidence. So sometimes even aim to finish the syllabus so that the student can have confidence. There's this teacher who used to say in my former station, the children I went to the children and they said they have not done gases, metals. And I asked them, how many topics do we have? So will one topic make you to fail? Honestly, that wasn't professional, because they feel insecure, and in most cases you find even that single topic, perhaps it was the easiest or is the foundation of everything. Like in chemistry, metals is the foundation of all topics. How to make salts, nini. So if you missed on elements, it's going to be hard. Then start teaching from the known to unknown. Deductive reasoning. Sometimes get peers to teach, For example, you're in Form 1, you can get someone who's in a higher class to come and teach. Even vice versa. As long as, that is your favorite best student, or has grasped that content, they can be able to teach the rest, and they'll be like, at least you have a role model. If so and so can do it, why not me? So you're building that confidence, and unconsciously you're changing the mentality of the students and making them to understand that your subject is simple and can be grasped by anyone. Another thing is reduce the pace. Sometimes you have to be slow and go with their pace. Emphasize on quality over quantity. But for in my case, like for my gems, most are the cream top cream. So some could not write notes. Actually, they just use textbooks and they write in those textbooks. Others could use these sticky notes. Yeah, actually tell your students to write short notes, micro notes actually. Then go bit by bit. Don't try to grasp everything at once. Pole pole tu. Pole pole ndio mwendo. So slowly by slowly you grasp content. Even I have been using this idea. Even if you have to grasp just 2 concepts in a day for each subject. So alright, for that subject 2 times 365, that's a lot of content by the end of the year. So just emphasize on going bit by bit so that you, and also get to apply. The more you apply, the more practical it will be. Not like for us, we used to chambua something like Kiswahili, I did kidaga, and we could relate kidaga even with real life. Maybe someone's life has gone a mess and we could say kidaga kimemwozea. Yeah, so it was easier to relate. Sometimes even we could talk in irony and you could see the opening and closing speech mark being used. So you try to do these things, make songs, whatever method you'll use. Another thing, be audible and comprehensible. Sometimes students, especially if they're weak, they may not be, if you're not audible, they lose concentration. So you have to ensure you project your sound and your content is simplified. So walimu, let's normalize going to class with teacher's notes than going with textbooks, because if you're going with that textbook and the student has the same textbook, it means you're not even mastered the content. So be a master of that content. Go with your notebook so that you can be able to deliver as much. Then as much as you'll want to go with the speed of the slowest, be smart and strategic so that you can finish the syllabus on time instead of having backlog and you're tensed and students become tensed. So try to do your best also. Sometimes go for them. Yeah, they may not come for you for help. They even don't realize, and that's why you have to set exams to know where are you weak. Ask them for feedback. They can tell you which topics they are weak in. Like the form 4s I'm teaching, they told me, mwalimu, yeah, they've been taught ushairi since form 1. They were like, we want classes on ushairi. It took me a whole week actually, but it was so worth it. I had to collect samples of ushairis, which are board everything. Yeah, so, and I like that, people who know what exactly they want, they're easier to be helped. Then take the first step. Yeah. And finally, finish and revise thoroughly, because prior preparation prevents poor performance. And finally, you can get to say trust in divine power. You can do everything, but man's plans are not God's plans. So surrender to Jah and everything be okay. Until then, bye. Hope you love this session and you have taken notes. So I've said strategy, be smart, motivate, reinforce, collaborate, teaching methods to be varied, content mastery, among other things. Until then, bye.